Hello gamers, welcome to another Honkai Star video. I'm gonna turn the gain up on my mic, so because I'm just goofing around, right? Goofing around. Yeah, so there's a completely new MOC. We have the first time this boss is showing up. Pollux, I think that's how you say it. Pollux, whatever. This boss we only had the chance to fight once inside the story mode, right? This time it's gonna be the first time it's in MOC. I don't really know the mechanics, so we're just gonna figure them out. As far as I understand, it has something to do with healing. You have to like heal up to get rid of its special state to then do more damage to the boss. But the one interesting thing I want to point out at this MOC is that this buff right here is insanely strong for basically the whole game, right? I mean, basically there are some characters that can't really make use of it, but this buff giving +3 skill level and +2 memo sprite skill is really strong. And there's a couple of specific synergies that I'm going to talk about and like build philosophy in this video for some characters. But I specifically want to bring up the MC because we actually pull this up over here, right? The MC, they buff true damage based on their memo sprite skill, right? It's going to be a certain percentage of true damage based on level of skill, right? This right here. I believe level 6, if I'm not mistaken, is the max that you can get it, or it might be level 7. I know it's like 30%, right? Yeah, so level 7, the talent, you can get 30% here. Now, their true damage is also going to scale a certain amount based on how much energy they have. Yeah, it's right here. So you're going to get an extra up to 20% true damage based on that, making the cap 50 normally, right? And there's also the Eidolon here that allows it to work better for 0 charge units, so it's going to be 36 baseline, which is pretty solid. But the reason I bring this up is because of this right here. So this effect, right, this +2 effect for the memo sprite skill is going to increase this true damage, right? I'm looking at the wrong one. It should be right here. It should increase this true damage from 30 to 34 because it's getting a +2 on memo sprite skill, right? Memo sprite skill. If we again check the MC's actual skill here, right? Memo sprite skill, true damage, right? I know my fat head is blocking it, right? But that should be increasing its true damage. And the reason I know this to be a fact is whenever we load in the battle, I'll show you, it goes up to 40% true damage on my Acheron from 36, because normally Acheron would be getting the 36 from the talent and the extra charge, right? It's going to go up to 40 now because of this +2 skill, right? Which isn't that big of an increase, right? But it is 4% like raw extra damage we're doing, which is pretty nice, as well as Mim is going to do a bit more damage. So this is a pretty nice buff for the MC, but this is also going to be buffing, like I said, my Acheron's skill here, which is going to be another +3 to her talent. We can check the scaling on this real quickly, right? That this is going to be huge for all these characters, right? So we take a look at Acheron, right? Skill, it's going to be doing 160% of her attack main target. If we do +3 here, it's going to be 184 the main target. Really good. And so yeah, this is huge for like everybody. It's going to be helping characters like Jing Liu, even though she's going to get a buff. And then 2 patches about, right? It's a patch and a half, right? It's still going to be pretty nice. It's going to help these characters do a bit more. Same thing applies to characters like Sunday. Sunday buffs on his skill, so guess what? You're going to get a bit more damage off of his skill buff, right? So on Aventurine, same thing, because Aventurine applies his shield with his skill right here. You're going to get a bit more shield from Aventurine. And so this buff is insane for like so many characters. Hell, Gallagher, right? A bunch of these healers, you're going to get more healing from them. And so this MOC buff for the first time in like, I'd say a minute, is actually really strong. And just that much stronger for characters that make use of memo sprites like Castorice, Aglaya, even though she is doing, primarily basic damage, it's going to be buffing her memo sprite side of the damage, which is pretty nice. Buffing, the MC, it's going to be buffing, that fuck, if you will, right? The healer girl that's coming out next update, right? So yeah, really nice buff. I don't know what to do exactly for the first half because, well, if you can see my accounts, I don't exactly have a counter for what this guy wants to do. I could brute force of Acheron. I could try to do something funny like Welt sustain, sustainless. However, I believe you do need a sustain. So I'm gonna have to work with something, and then the second half is kind of whatever. I might honestly brute force Acheron and then just run mini Herta on side 2, because it's AoE, so it should get the job done. Or you know what I could do? Instead of mini Herta, I could run Himiko and just break them over and over again. That should get it done. I'm gonna hop into this like so. Do we really want to run that? Is my Himiko on the right gear? I just want to check real quick then. My builds will not be that impressive for these characters, I can tell you that right now. It's gonna be what it is. So I could run her there. I actually want to swap these positions. So OCD. I could also just run Jing Yuan. Jing Yuan would work fine against the monkey boss. Oof. I don't know. I kind of want to run Break Himiko now that I think about it, because that's gonna be some big AoE right there. We're gonna try this. I'm gonna try to brute force of Acheron because I honestly, sorry, I was doing something on Steam the other day. I gotta change the source for the video. But yeah, let's just take a look at what this boss is like. And also you'll see you know, like the builds and buffs and everything, right? So we're gonna pull up MC here, skill Jiao Cho, kickstart his rotation with you know, all the pre-damage stacks. I need to activate his E1. I still haven't activated it. Trust guys, soon enough it will be activated. We're pretty weak already with Gallagher. Did I mess up Gallagher's build? No, it looks about right. And we'll just do that. We're gonna pull up Acheron. This is an E2 Acheron, of course, in case you couldn't tell. So yeah, if we take a look here from the Mim buff, right? Gonna get that 10% crit rate, and then we're gonna get an additional 40% true damage. So that just proves that the thing actually works. And if we check here on the skill, it's gonna be a level 13 skill, 184. Right, that's pretty damn nice. We can even check here from, if we actually click on Mim here, Mim's gonna go up here, 134, right? It's pretty damn nice. It doesn't do anything for Jiao Cho, nobody cares about that. And then Gallagher's gonna get extra healing on this. At level 15, 2,000 raw heals. That's before any of his scalings go through. Pretty damn nice, pretty damn nice. Yeah, we're just gonna ultimate here. Do some solid damage. Or not, but oh, he has 90% damage reduction, doesn't he? Okay, so that's the mechanic of this boss, I do know that, is that he has 90% damage reduction, which is an absurd amount, and that's why I was, like, kind of concerned for this boss. And I understand people being concerned, or it's like a shill boss for Caster Ice and so on and so on. Because it's just an absurd amount of damage reduction, and the way the fight is designed with wanting to heal yourself a whole bunch. It's going to be pretty interesting to see how people tackle this, because you're forced to run a healer. You can't run a Venturine against this, from what I can tell. So, yeah, pretty interesting. Okay, so now he's in this enhanced state. We can't die from those dot effects. But this is where we have to heal? What's this? Hold on, I should have checked this. What's this, like, debuff thing? Reduces the damage at the start of a turn, higher the target's HP percentage, the more damage they receive. This is non-fatal. And then this target deals damage to enemy targets, decreases damage received by enemy targets by 90%, restore HP. Oh. So we take 90% less damage. And then we're going to restore HP. I'm still hardly doing any damage. Acheron can easily output like 1,000,000 plus. Like it'd actually be free. Do we have to like fully heal it back up for them to do damage? Oh wait, I might have just misread it. This target deals damage to enemy targets, decreases damage received by enemy. Oh, she did 90%. Oh, I did. Okay, yeah. So 90% less damage. I did misread that massively. Okay. I also didn't fully read the memo sprite thing, but not a big deal. Not a big deal. Okay, so now we'll do full damage with Acheron. There we go. That looks more right. Yep. I don't like how it's stuck at 1%, bro. That low-key bothering me. Does he take normal damage now? It dispelled the enhanced state, so does it take normal damage? I think it takes normal damage now. We're gonna test it. Also, I'm surprised he has so many weaknesses on him. What the hell? Is he gonna reactivate it or not? Oh yeah, he's gonna reactivate it, huh? Yeah, this is a very annoying boss. Say that right now. Very annoying boss. Basic attack EU, because we want some of that break action going on here. Are we doing 90% less damage again? Oh, bro. Oh, this is an annoying boss. It's not killing me, though. That's something, at least. Do I just pop this? Like... Yeah, I can't even damage it. Bro, I feel like running double healer might just be better. Like, legitimately. I guess we'll attack this guy on the side. Get some of that break going. I'm gonna go ahead and up this because I want the extra energy. The team's SP positive anyways, so it's not a big deal. Okay, we're doing full damage now. I guess I might as well just pop it then. I can say right now though, for like people wondering, MC is not the best option. It's still Sparkle speed tuned appropriately. I'm just using MC for fun, right? Sparkle speed tuned appropriately because of DDD is still better. That team, ooh. Hey, we survived it. That team action advance is the biggest thing for Acheron's setup, right? And it's unfortunate that they haven't put that on an accessible form for a Nihility character, right? It would have been nice to see on Jiao Cho, flat out, baseline. I'm not talking dupes or anything, or like Cypher, right? But as we know, it's not on either one of those units, as per the live stream. So like it's kind of whatever, but that team action advance is like one of the biggest reasons why Sparkle is the best for Acheron's E2. And yeah, there's that. Now, this is not gonna be fun. This is already not gonna be fun. Let's just see. They're not weak on the first part, so I might just like come back to this. Oh my god, no. Oh my god. This is a bad idea, chat. This is gonna take like 20 cycles. You can already tell. 20 cycle Swift Dispatch. Not me almost buffing the wrong guy. Crazy work, crazy work. Basic. By the way, it is very important that, it's very important that Aventurine and Robin are in the middle slot, for gaining stacks. For anybody who doesn't know. And I also do have Sunday's Light Cone, which is how a lot of these setups are able to work. You do basically need Sunday's Light Cone to have the Robin synergy be in its ideal scenario, right? Its optimal scenario. Oh, hey, they applied the weakness. I should have read the buff, to be fair. I should have read it more. I know there's some other aspects to it, like this weakness application. But, I wasn't aware. This is terrible. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I don't know if I can beat this. The last one I struggled like crazy. This one I quite literally think it's just... You don't have My Day / Casterize L. I think it's like one of those scenarios. I'm gonna have to toy with this. This might be a scenario where it's like... Luocha is gonna be better than Gallagher because of like overall healing per like rate of attack. So it's gonna be something I'll have to try. I'm gonna run this back on a few setups to see what I can get happening. All right. You know, chat, I forgot something very important. One, I can never say I can regret pulling Fugue. And then two, I'm once again proving that, well, one, my thoughts on power creep, and two, that I'm always right, in that you don't have to summon for all these characters. I have another cursed setup, although it's not as cursed as the Super Break Welt one. Because I can just... Fugue is better DPS than Acheron, guys. Mid-Kron, am I right? Fugue is goated. It's that simple. I got nothing to say. The strategy here is very simple. Break. That's the entire strategy. It's break. Yep. Yeah. So we're gonna ult with MC here, just to give Gallagher a bit of extra healing. We're actually gonna heal MC because they're gonna act next, and then we're gonna action advance with Gallagher, so he's gonna heal himself, right? And you could do way more damage than what I'm doing here with optimization. Mine isn't fully optimized, and we're gonna basic attack here. This is gonna help heal Fugue, right? It's gonna get MC up and running, which I can do this. We're gonna get a bit of break damage, right? Basic here, right? Now it's Fugue's turn. Fugue just got the buff removed, meaning I can do this. I did a run just before this to test this team out. She did 60k there, or sorry, 600,000, pretty good. Right, we're gonna basic here, get a bunch of damage in there. I was gonna basic here. MC is gonna base, or not basic. We're gonna skill here with MC. We're gonna do a bunch of damage here, 400,000, pretty damn good. Yeah, who needs to pull all these characters when you can just run a free-to-play team? This team isn't even that expensive, all things considered. And now we're actually going to switch the buff over to the MC from Gallagher, because I want the MC to prioritize what they're doing over what Gallagher is doing. Obviously, Gallagher breaking faster is really good, but we want the MC to buff everybody overall. We're going to get a bunch of damage there. They've exited states, and they've taken more damage. They've been delayed once again. Rome's going to re-delay them, because why not? And we're gonna continue to basic it and win. Yeah, because... Yeah. Gaming. This, you would think this wouldn't work that well. But, you know, the benefit of having the whole team SP positive. So we're gonna, once again, rebuff Gallagher here. This is why I'm doing it like this. We're gonna do this, and we're gonna ult with him, so he's gonna pull himself back up and get that break bar reduced even more, or sorry, toughness bar I should say, reduced even more. And we're gonna come in with Rame. This is taking about the same number of cycles, and this is like one of the things that I was saying, like with this boss in particular, that I could see people struggling because they're not equipped to counter its mechanics on their account, and that can suck for some people, right? I, for one, as you can see, don't have that big of a problem with this, despite my account missing a lot of stuff, all things considered, and not pulling on certain characters and whatnot. But I'm still able to get it done, right? Now, he is toughness blocking right now. Kinda cringe, I'm not gonna lie. I need that toughness bar to go down. Dude, that's not very PogChamp. I don't think there's any way for me to get that toughness bar down, I'm not gonna lie. It might just be quite literally just keep attacking the dudes on the side to do damage to him. Yep, we just eat that for lunch, breakfast, and dinner. Gonna do that. Get some break going there. We will now buff MC once again. I believe Rame's bloom is applied. Yeah, so he won't be able to act anyways. So it's no big deal. Yep. And then we're gonna hit him with this. Gonna delay him to oblivion. Oh, I can't do anything with that. Can you hit Fugue, please? Well, this is kind of unfortunate. Just when I was over here fucking around with break. Oh, wait, he got delayed. Hit Fugue, bro. Hit Fugue, come on. Whatever, the MC's gonna clean up anyways, that's fine. Yeah. So yeah, there we go. 5 cycles with break team. Pretty damn gnarly, I'd have to say. And I've just switched over to Sparkle, because obviously I have to use Harmony MC on the other team, right? But yeah, you know, we'll run this setup here, and then we'll talk about builds at the end of this, right? This should be pretty quick. I probably could do this side sustainless, all things considered, but hey, let's just, you know, run what I've got, right? With the unactivated E1 on Jiaoche. I'm gonna point that out every time. I just think it's funny. Yeah, unfortunately Sparkle is like mid. But you know, it is what it is. She's purely here to be a DDD bot for Acheron and nothing else. I really wish there was some better options. Maybe we'll get better options with future support characters. But right now, Acheron E2 is kind of fucked. Yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and ult. I know there's like always been the massive debate about, or at least in my opinion it's a debate, about how strong the E2 actually is, and who's like the best teammate for Acheron, and obviously there's the Acheron mains that are crashing out over, you know, Cypher's kit and Jiao Cho. And the answer, in case anybody is wondering, Jiao Cho is still absolutely like her best teammate, even with Cypher existing. Now, Cypher does completely shit on Jiao Cho in a lot of ways, just to be completely real. But given how Acheron plays, especially for like overall coverage, Jiao Cho is just better. Because he supercharges her ult, and instead of modes like Pure Fiction, that is where you're going to get the most value out of this character, right? Now, there is debate to be had with like Light Cone and dupes from there on, right? Because of how certain characters interact with like Cypher's Light Cone, for example, which is like insanely strong. It's just there's a lot of reasons why that Light Cone's like busted, and as well as, you know, having Jiao Cho's Light Cone, so like, and buff stacking, all that stuff. So like, there's a nuanced discussion that needs to be had about the value of each of them. And if you want to say that Cypher overall has way more value than Jiao Cho, 100% I agree. And in fact, I would say she's better than him like 9 times out of 10. The 10 being in Acheron's team specifically, she really wants Jiao Qiao, right? That doesn't mean that you shouldn't run Jiao Qiao and Cypher in Acheron's team. I still think that's going to be one of Acheron's best setups, is going to be both of them together, despite the fact that if you actually look at the mathematical numbers, you're not amplifying Acheron as much as running like Silverwolf of Cypher's light cone, which again is why I'm mentioning her light cone. I just think it's worth mentioning. By the way, I probably messed up the action advance because I'm just not paying attention. But yeah, I just think it is worth mentioning the light cones specifically in the context of the units, right? Because even if not everybody's pulling for light cones, having a light cone like Cypher's is like just it provides arguably more value than most other light cones for that path, right? Not saying that like she's like the best light cone in the game or anything, right? No, not at all. I'm just saying it's like what Cypher's light cone does for Nihility is like insanely strong. And arguably her plus her light cone is gonna be more valuable and impactful than like pulling Jiao Qiao, right? So yeah, again, like this needs to be in a further discussion. I know it's like some people would be like, if you're long-time viewers of the channel, it's like, oh, where's that video go, Demon? Huh? You're supposed to come out already. You're right, but I had finals. Finals are over. I have no excuse anymore. Trust me. The worst part about it is I recorded all of my tests on like the last MOC, and I'll be completely real. I just got to stop being perfectionist about it and get it out there. But there is the argument to be made. It's like, oh, well, now I can talk about it with the context of Cypher existing, and so on, right? Again, like there's a I think there's a lot of points that people are ignoring or frankly don't understand about how these units actually function. And that's, you know, what I always say, right? I just want to build a better understanding about the game. And yeah, that's really that. We shouldn't be ignoring even like the niche abilities of these characters, right? And I bring this up because my sense on the topic is that I think a lot of people don't actually understand how good Cypher is, or like what she's actually doing. Like I think she's being massively underrated, like already, like pre-release the character is being massively underrated, which is, you know, seems to happen quite a lot in the Star Rail community. That they'll be like, oh, that character's mid, blah, 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 or they looked at like some, you know, beta information, like, oh, they're no longer good, blah, 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 and then it's gonna come out, it's like, oh, wait, they're actually OP. Like, oh, they go crazy, right? And so on, right? Like, there's a lot of things that the community does that's pretty damn goofy, if we're being real here. But yeah, you know, that MOC was actually pretty fun. Again, 100% people will struggle with certain investment thresholds on your account. Like if you don't have a healer, for example. Fortunately, you know, I'm not some cringe player and I know what I'm doing. Everybody should level up their Gallagher flat out. I don't care who you are or if you're a whale or not. Gallagher should be on your account and should be leveled. If you don't have Gallagher, you're cooked. Other than that, this is not saying that you should spend your token on Luocha. There comes to a point where maybe you might as well just take the loss and just not get the clear and save your summons for something else, right? There's definitely there's an argument to be had there. And I will say, if you are like, well, shit, I don't have a healer to build, you're going to be kind of out of luck because Gallagher is the best 4-star option. And if you don't have one of the 5-star sustains, well, your options are going to be basically Natasha, Lynx, Bailu, whatever free-to-play option. In my opinion, you'd probably be better off building Lynx, specifically in the context of having these HP scaling characters Otherwise, you could just do Bailu. The problem with Bailu is that Bailu doesn't have a cleanse, and so debuffs will be screwed. Lynx does, but it's on her ultimate, so you gotta keep in mind of that. Natasha does eventually get a cleanse once you level her up. It's only one target on a skill, but Lynx and Natasha are gonna have about the same overall heals. It's just Lynx, her talent lasts longer, so over time Lynx can get more healing than Natasha, right? Even if on paper, the raw heal is about the same, right? So yeah, good luck to those that are most likely going to be struggling, because I could definitely see a struggle if you don't have, you know, if you don't have like a Gallagher on your account, for example, or Linksha, right? Like you need to have a healer to, as far as I understand, for this boss, right? So I would definitely keep that in mind. I also didn't mention earlier that this also applies a weakness, and that's how the turbulence works. It like does extra damage based on the number of weaknesses. So Anaxa is going to play into this really, really well. He's probably going to do pretty good on both sides, actually, considering that this is already a wind week, so you're going to be doing your normal damage. And then this isn't wind week, but you'll immediately apply all your weaknesses. And it's AoE, so it's going to do a bunch of damage to the boss whenever the thing, like, you know, procs, right? So that's going to be pretty nice. So yeah, let's talk about the builds featured in this actual video. So we're going to be talking about my Acheron build. I'm sure if you've, you know, long-term viewer, you're familiar with my Acheron build. I have actually received a slight upgrade of my Acheron, and I do plan on continuing leveling her up, or not leveling her up, grinding for her relics. This is what we're looking at right now. Very beautiful art from Tumaru, or Toramaru. I probably butchered that name, but it's down there. It's somebody on Twitter. My mod sent this in the chat. Really cool. Love the art. Acheron looks beautiful. But as you can see, I got a what the fuck plus artifact here now, and you know, on the boots as well, and so we're looking pretty damn good. Yeah, I'm just gonna keep shooting for better crit ratios. That's really about it. Gonna try to get more crit on the body. I might craft a new body. I don't know, but I definitely need to switch to an attack orb, because an attack orb is going to get me about a 10% damage increase if I can match it, which this shouldn't be too hard to match, but again, I'm gonna have to balance it with the crit rate, as well as other stats. So again, there's some pretty big like damage increases I could get for Acheron specifically, especially given that I activate my E1 on Jiao Cho. This damage percent is gonna get even more diluted than her already like self-buff 90%. So yeah, I definitely need to get an attack orb at some point, but there has been some upgrades in the build, pretty damn good. Sparkle build is about the same. I've added some funny images here just for the sake of it. Sparkle build is the exact same. Again, I can actually get the exact number you want, which is 167 like 0.4 or something, for the 3 turn with Eagle. I can get it, but I'm forced to swap sets. I don't have it with Keel, which I do want to be able to run Keel, because Keel is going to give us that extra 10% crit damage for the team, which is primarily for Acheron, but it's going to allow Sparkle to stack just a bit more crit damage on. So yeah, I could obviously change that for like zero cycle purposes, but yeah, we just got to get better relics for Sparkle across the board. This body could infinitely be better. There's no effect res, right? And it's only 2 rolls in the speed. I can do better than that. Same thing with this rope. This rope only has 1 roll in the speed. It's got 1 roll into like 3. Admittedly, it's got 3 useful stats for her. But again, like some of these could just be better flat out, right? That's gonna be about that. Jiao Cho, nothing changed. You can see I have been a bit influenced by the memes. But yeah, there's only one objectively correct way to build Jiao Cho, and it's currently like this until we get debuff-centric sets. Again, in an ideal world, we get a debuff-centric set that is literally just like you build 50 million effect hit rate and you get action advance for this character, or in an ideal world, team action advance. I'm a little bit greedy, but hey, listen, it's only going to work on 2 characters, Black Swan, Jiao Cho. So, you know, like, listen, I'm just asking for a little bit of love for these Nihility characters. Quit holding back Hoyoverse. You know, there's no real point to doing that. My MC, of course, I'm still speed tuning them. I don't have the best MC build. They are on 4-piece Eagle, of course. I need help. Gallagher, I have actually changed to 4-piece Sakrados, so I did drop his speed a little bit, but he now can buff a little bit of crit damage, which is pretty nice, and so on and so on. I do want to improve his build. It's not like anything too crazy. It can be easily better by getting more break, more HP, more speed, and all that stuff, right? As you may have seen me run Sunday before, my Sunday is already pretty good. He is tuned exactly to where I want him to be, right at the baseline for how much speed you need. Good amount of crit, and he has 50% effect res, which is the biggest thing for me, because when you run him a Venturine, he'll be immune to debuffs, right? And so that's the one thing I'm going to recommend everybody to do on their sustains. Same thing with the Venturine. My Venturine build isn't all that good, all things considered. However, I will never build him otherwise. He will be at having above 134 speed because I want him to be faster than DPS. He's going to obviously have 4k plus defense, and he will be having 50% effect rest, so he is immune to debuffs. I will not accept anything that is not this. This can be improved. As you can see, none of my relics are all that good. This is just defense percent, some effect res. This is just defense percent, a little bit of effect res, right? Literally didn't even roll into that. This one was a terrible roll. It could have rolled into either one of these, but I went full break, right? So this could easily be better. Run May, slow May is the best. Now, before you question the build, trust me, this is the correct way to run her, especially if you have E1. All right, build her slow, build her for raw damage. Trust me, it works. It is the best way. Fugue. Fugue, it is a generic Fugue build, nothing to see here. That light cone is wrong. Some of these light cones are probably wrong, actually. I don't know if it like updated correctly. Oh yeah, Gallagher, quid pro quo for energy procs, right? And then MC for, you know, extra speed and damage, right? This light cone, people can argue between this one and the other free-to-play one. This one, if assuming you're SP positive in the team already, this one works out to be like better, especially for casterized teams, HP pool percentage and so on and so on. It just depends on like what your setup is. I would generally recommend this though, because speed is really hard to hit. Robin build pretty generic actually, except for the speed boots. I know some people are probably going to be like, why you have speed boots on your Robin? I kind of need it for the extra turn that she can get cycle 0, so that you can get 1 extra SP. It's not a big deal. I might change it to attack percent, but I just need better relics for her. Luocha, wait, did I use anybody else on here? I don't think I used anybody else in the video. Oh, wait, Harmony MC. Yeah, Harmony MC. This one you can make an argument for me building wrong. However, I use them as a main DPS, and again, Fugue, Rame, E1, they're going to be penetrating over 50% defense. This is really good for damage. They don't really need the extra 30 break, but I would argue the extra 30 break is going to be more beneficial because when ran optimally, they're going to be ulting over and over again. That's going to have more uptime on those other units. But this is the funny build for the MC, so I've got, you know, this going on with them. Obviously, it could be better. And I think that's it for the video. I did try a couple things off camera. I tried to run Dr. Ratio, despite the fact that, first off, this is not how I actually run him. I just fucked up the relic optimizer. Or Fribbles is kind of goofy with some things. I actually have a really good ratio build that's like 100 over 200. 134 speed, like 3k plus attack. Like, it's a really good build, but he just sucks. He just sucks, bro. He's like comically bad. Like, legit. We equip this, right? I don't know if it's going to update. This is my build, by the way. This is literally my build. I run him like this. So I have a S+ build on ratio, and he can't clear the first half. When I run Luocha, who should be healing more than Gallagher with this setup. This is an atrocity, bro. This guy sucks. So, yeah, I think that's all the builds to cover in this video. If you do have any questions, feel free to ask them. Don't forget to like, subscribe, check me out on Twitch. And yeah, I will see y'all in the next one. All right, peace.